I always found it odd that my grandpa, who was a real smart man, was always working construction and other seemingly low-paid jobs, even though he had his college diploma in business management. Well, one day I was at his house and we were watching TV when the local news had a story about some kids who had gone missing. The report mentioned how other children in the area were talking about a skinny, tall man in a suit. My grandpa shook for a moment, and I asked him what was wrong. He turned the TV off and asked me what I knew about his time in World War II. All my dad had ever told me was that Grandpa was a paratrooper. My grandpa laughed and told me that's what he had told my dad. In reality, he said, he was an OSS field op. He was involved in many missions, he said, that remain secret to this day. Before I could even ask what this had to do with the missing children, he started to speak. Near the end of the war, Grandpa and a team of agents were sent on a mission in the Black Forest in Germany. They were disguised as civilians. Their mission was to meet up with a group who was going to give them some stolen Nazi plans. As they set up camp that night, they heard a noise. Hiding their weapons, they saw what looked to be a Nazi soldier walking towards them. At first, they thought he was drunk, the way he looked to be stumbling around. It wasn't until he got to their campfire that they saw his leg was broken. As they asked the soldier what happened, Grandpa was shouting this in German, a language I never knew he could speak. The soldier just mumbled something, then passed out. They figured that maybe there was a car wreck, or maybe he had been attacked by someone. That's when the Nazi suddenly sat up screaming, "He's coming! He's coming!" Grandpa then said that a guy on his team, Jim, pulled out his Thompson and pointed it towards where the Nazi had come from. The others grabbed their weapons. That's when they saw him. A man in a black suit was walking towards them. Grandpa said he yelled at the man in German, in French, in any language he could think of, trying to make this oddler-looking man answer who he was. He got closer and closer, until they saw its face. At that moment, I saw my grandpa's own face become pale, his eyes gone distant. He said there were no real features, just oddly-looking orbs and at first, a little line for a mouth. It stood there, looking at the men, then at the Nazi on the ground. The Nazi was crying, mumbling to himself. One of the team yelled for the man to put his hands up. At that moment, the man shot up into the air. Grandpa said that when they saw the tentacles, he and his team opened fire on the thing. It seemed like the bullets weren't doing anything. The man used one of his tentacles to grab the Nazi. The Nazi screamed in terror as he was dragged through the air. Grandpa said he aimed his gun at the poor bugger, but something hit him. As he fell to the ground, Grandpa said it seemed like time around him and the man just slowed down. He could see the bullets hit the man, but they seemed to be absorbed into him. The man just looked down at Grandpa, and then, in a flash, the man and the Nazi were gone. He said everything was so quiet. A little while after that, the people they were waiting for showed up, asking what had happened. No one said anything. After the war, Grandpa got married and was going to work for a company in New York, but he had a massive panic attack when he saw all the men in black business suits. After that moment, he worked any job that didn't involve wearing, or being around strangers in, business suits.